Welcome everyone to our Redbox Studio Facebook live series. I'm here today with Kaniza Shafie of Kebun Kota. But before we get started, we want to share something that will probably be of interest to people who love to read. So Kaniza, can you share what you're reading today or this week?
Hi everybody. Hi Krista. How are you?
Good.
Good. I am actually reading Cities by Design, the social life of urban form. This book is actually written by a professor from Fran Tonkins. She's a professor at London School of Economics, and she's actually in the field of sociology. So her point of view of cities is quite different from my training as an architect. So I think in these days and age, the fabric or the building of city must go beyond technicality as a city planner or an architect and whatnot. Other players must come in, and their point of view is as important to see how the whole city should and must work from now on. So I just started this book, so it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Is it because you're an architect, therefore this book appeals to you, or because there's a deeper passion in it?
I think, yeah, my profession do play a role in it, but at the same time, the urbanization of, the whole world basically, as UNDP is estimated by 2050, two-thirds of the world population will be living in cities. So that will probably be the only form of living for most of us, whether my children's generation and the next generation. City will be the only place that they know there's no such thing maybe for them as kampung anymore. So, what world? I'm curious to know from sociology point of view, what is their perception on this?
I see.
What are the perception? What are the problems that these people are going to face in the future if what we do now is not correct? So, yeah.
Okay. So for those who have just joined us, welcome to today's Facebook Live series with Kaniza of Kebun Kota. My name is Krista, and since I asked Kaniza to share a book that she's reading, so I'm going to share a book that I'm reading. It's called Stephen Covey, Speed of Trust. So this is not a new book. It's I think it's been published some time ago, but it's been sitting on my shelf, and I usually pick books according to how I feel like what I want to read at this point in time. So I realized that this book is something that is very interesting because it breaks down the components of trust. Because when we say trust, most of us say, yeah, we trust a person. Like, I trust you and you trust me. But what exactly is it made of? So inside this book, it has a lot of stories that talks about what trust is exactly and the 4 components of trust. So I thought that I want to try something new by introducing a book that we are each reading before we get started, so that at least there's something interesting about what we're doing with our lives right now, besides doing the stuff that we do. Okay, so let's get started for today's topic. So I'm sure a lot of people here either here because they want to know more about your business, Kebun Kota, as well as Roots Cafe, or they're interested in sustainability, or they're interested in social entrepreneurship. So it's a huge, I think there's a lot of things that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
So before we get down to talking about it, let me introduce you as the co-founder of Kebun Kota. So let me just briefly read through your bio. So Kaniza is an architect, having graduated in 1990 with a Bachelor of Architecture with honors from the School of Architecture, University of Newcastle upon Tyne. She led the design and technical teams while working before she started her own business in architectural services and building construction. With a strong technical knowledge and experience, she ventured into the construction and fabrication works in the oil and gas industry in 1997. So currently, she is the co-founder of Kebun Kota, a social enterprise and an actual 14-acre farm in Kuantan, Pahang. And of course, if you want to find out more, you can go to kebunkota.com.my. She's also involved in Roots, a cafe by Kebun Kota. So Roots is a community marketplace, cafe and shop in Kuantan. So welcome, Kaniza, to our Facebook Live series.
Thank you, Krista. Happy to be
Okay.
here.
So one of the things that I want to talk about is you're an architect, right? And you've been involved in construction and design of buildings and spaces. So, but Kebun Kota, on the other hand, is a farm. So how did an architect become an urban farmer, if I can call it that?
Okay. I think we architecture is now referred to as part of built environment. So when the topic is as big as that, the field is as big as that, it's not limited to building per se. We're talking about involving the whole environment of a place, or place that we're creating.
Yeah.
The turning point for us as a family is in 2006, after watching The Inconvenient Truth by Al Gore. It was a wake up call, knowing that okay, whatever we do have so much impact on the environment, whether it's build, whether we construct, or our daily life have impact on the realm. What our actions have a reaction in return. So the land came about when my father-in-law passed away in 2001. Then my husband inherited about a quarter of that. And he was like, what do we do with this land? A lot of people say, oh, for us, you are next to, you are basically in a city, you develop, you build, because that's what we do. We are developers, we build, that's what we know. But he was quite apprehensive because, yeah, you build, after that you sell. There's no land left after that. The children probably inherit, you know, wealth probably in the form of cash and whatnot, but there's no land. It will belong to others. So we have enough. We are comfortable. We living a simple life. So we thought that okay, let's do something more meaningful. So he turned into a farm, and his first love is fish, not me. Okay, so he started this because there's water in that place. We actually have a water body of 1.7 million liters of fresh water at the farm. So he will start doing fish, and that's how we gradually turn into farming. We are not farmers. We've moved away from all the. I mean, I was exposed to it when I was young, but that's about it. You go to study and you start living the normal life of working and taking care of children and whatnot. So farming came after the fish. And it was in 2008 that we started Kebun Kota. So this year is our 13th year. So we've been doing it quite a while. It's a long, long learning process to get where we are.
Okay. So basically, it started with a piece of land
Yeah.
that you didn't want to turn into another probably another number of houses or buildings. And from there, you decided to do something that also fed back into your husband's passion.
Yeah.
For fish first, and then now farming. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you grow there? What do you grow in your farm right now?
Oh, we have managed to accumulate about, our initial target was to get about 100 different types of herbs and plants. And we have achieved that last year. We have managed to get and basically catalog all the different types of herbs and plants, fruit, fruit trees. We have durian, we have mango, we have bananas, we have papaya. So we plant all different type of fruits. At the same time, we also focus on herbs, especially those that has been forgotten, not eaten, because my pet question when I ask kids that comes to the kebun, when you eat vegetable, what's on your plate? Carrot, cabbage, broccoli, and whatnot. None of it is actually planted on the low ground. So we look at plants from nutritional point of view. So we catalog all these plants that we have and do the comparative study. Then, when between broccoli and say pucuk ubi, or which is better, we compare it based on nutrition, not the normal no, because it's broccoli in the West, it seems to be more beneficial. A lot of things has been written on it, so we assume that it will be good for us as well. We want to look away from that. We want to change that perception. So we've been spending many years on doing catalog on that.
Okay. So what kinds of herbs, can I ask what kind of herbs that you have? I mean, besides the pucuk ubi lah. I mean, what are the interesting herbs that you have there?
We have, the different type of cuko. We have temu. We have different type of kunyit. There's kunyit putih, kunyit hitam, and the normal kunyit that we know. And halia, there are many types of halia. And lengkuas, we have daun kado. We have daun. We have the two types of serai that we planted there, and oh gosh, many, a lot we have there. And then there are things that we assume they're actually grants.
Yeah.
And weeds are not. When we do research, we found out that many of them have health benefits in it. They actually herbs.
Wow. So there's a lot of local, I would say local, right? Local Malaysian
Yes.
Plants and herbs in your farm.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's have a look at the comments here. Thank you, those who have left comments. If you're new to this Facebook Live series, please leave a comment so we know where you're from. And maybe you're here because you saw Kaniza's post. Or maybe you're here because you saw my post. Doesn't matter. We're here with Kaniza of Kebun Kota, and I encourage you, if you have a question regarding urban farming, or you're just interested in just doing something like this, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. So let me just call out. There is a comment from Malar. She says, "Good afternoon, ladies. Interested to find out about what it's like to run a farm, choice of produce, farming, tech, staffing, distribution, and you will ever have off days from a farm?"
No, the last part. Okay.
How does it work in a farm? Yeah, for all of us who are really city people.
We have a few types of farm method that we apply in Kebun Kota. Kebun Kota, you have to know that it's basically a playground. It's our research center. We try aquaponics, we try normal geoponics, where we plant the normal way organically on the ground. So we are exploring many different types of planting techniques. And from our experience, aquaponics is probably the best method because you rear fish and you have plants in the filtration system, where it's a symbiosis between fish and the plant. The fish waste feed the plant, becomes the plant nutrition, and then the plant clean the water and goes back to the fish. And by doing it this way, it only use about less than the 10% of the normal water that you need for traditional way of doing farming, and it's a closed system, so you do not pollute other water body that we have at the farm with the fish waste and whatnot. So we can actually keep a lot of water that we have at the farm as fresh, clean water for our consumption. So it depends your locality. In our case, the cheapest will be with 14 acres each to just grow on the ground. But if you are short of space, you should look at doing vertical farming, which we are trying to do now. And we are also looking at doing rooftop farming. We are building 35 units of houses behind the current office that we're staying now. And we are introducing in our design for that, those terrace houses, the house owner eventually can do planting at the rooftop of their houses. And our concept is to get, whatever the footprint of the building, to duplicate it, where you can have 1,000 square feet of farm above at your roof. The platform of your building duplicated. So the thing about farming, I think our concept is to go small for urban farming. We cannot see urban farming as in a traditional way where you have to employ so many people, and because it's huge, you can't manage it on your own. Urban farming should go small or even micro, because we are talking about getting as many people to do it, not huge. Land would be, as you know, as the year pass, the land within the city, within the urban setup, would be less and less. It will be scarce. So the only way is to have small units of farm. And the concept of this farming is not, the priority is not about selling. The priority should be on consumption, your own consumption first. The saving will be that, the financial benefit is the fact that you don't have to buy. That is the monetary value to that. You monetize on the fact that you don't have to buy, rather than you can sell the vegetable. It's saving. So the demand will reduce. The demand or the urge to go to the supermarket for one batang or serai will reduce. I mean, if you want to cook something and you don't have the chili or serai or pandan, and it's always that tendency, okay, I just pop to the shop. Popping to the shop, we know that we will not just buy the pandan, we'll buy 10 other things that
Yes.
grow at the same time. So to me, when I explain about this, do not think big when you want to start. Think small, do small. Then you will not be so, um, you know, because it's like nurturing things. Anything you're dealing with living things, you have to give your full attention at all time, whether it's pet, your children, or whatnot, a plant. You have to be there and take care of it. There's no off day. So start small. Then if you have the capacity to expand, then you expand. But the best is to do it on communal basis where you get many people to participate more. So you don't have to be there all the time. You can get your neighbors, you can get your whoever that is willing to be part of the team, and you share the produce at the end of the day. That would be the best solution to me.
So it seems to me that it's not just about having an urban farm just to plant something that you can sell. It's planting it for your own consumption first. I guess if you have access, then probably you can share or sell or do whatever you want to do with the rest of the vegetables, right? But it's more for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As urban farming as a business as well, for us, we work on that basis. We work on the basis of what we need to consume, excess that we sell. It's not the making money part is not the top priority. You have to. I mean, if you are invested a lot, you do have to sustain the business, but it should not be the normal business model that we have, where profit must come up front. No, we are talking about reducing our the amount of things that we buy. Basically.
Yeah. Okay, so then we have another question. We have some very interesting questions today. So this one, I better read it out. So this is from Dream Vast Resources. She says, hi, Krista and Kaniza, Alexis here. I'd love to hear what Kaniza's thoughts are on food security in the near future, with large producers like China suffering from massive floods, wiping farmlands, etc. What do you think local communities and consumers can do to reduce our reliance on big business? I think you just answered that in a way, by saying that you grow for yourself.
Yeah.
Is that
yeah. I'll share with you one the recent experience that we had during SEO. movement control order. We prior to that, it was 5 months before that, my husband set up to plant spinach, a few types of spinach and watermelon, and I think he's got about four, and then he started planting chili as well. Then March, MCO hit us. So at that time, the spinach were about to be harvested, and we didn't know what to do with it because the supermarket was pressing the price down. And we said, okay, if that's the case, we're going to sell direct to consumer. If we cannot sell, then we're going to give away. And we did give it away, most of it, because we feel that it's not worth selling in the supermarket at, you can't even recover the cost of it. It's insane how they were trying to press everybody at that time. So we said we will give it away. And to us, that proves one thing. If the food production is within the city itself, where you are not allowed to move beyond that point, you have food that you can share among the community that we had at that time. And so we were giving away the bayam, and I think from roots itself, it was about close to 100 kilos that we gave away. And this method of urban farming, the fact that you don't need transportation to transport the veggies from rural area or outside of urban area, proof point that you can always have it fresh. Because why? Every day when we were giving the spinach away, we only harvest what we want to give away that particular day in the morning at 6 a.m. in the morning. By 8:30 a.m., the fresh spinach were already at the counter en route, and that's it. And the rest is still in the
in the ground, on the ground.
Yeah, they are still there at the farm. So every day we were harvesting fresh vegetables for the local. So to me, that is food security. That is one way. It may not be 100% of achieving it, but I think we cannot start doing things when we feel that we can only do it 100%. Anything, any small step will bring us closer to the wish that one day Malaysia will be able to achieve food security, because we are blessed with fertile land, the beautiful weather. Whatever we throw on the ground, it will grow.
Yeah.
So why are we not? Why are we importing most of the bulk of our food? Why?
I think sometimes it's also people have lost touch with the fact that they can actually grow their own food.
Yeah.
Even if, like in cities, right, where they have a small patch of land, you can still do something with it.
Yes, exactly.
You don't need a big, like a 14-acre farm like Kebun Kota.
Exactly. That's why when a lot of people come and talk to us and say, "Oh, we can't do it because we don't have the land." I say, "How much land do you have? Even if you have 10 feet, 100 square feet, it's good enough. It's good enough. You just start doing it. If 1,000 household does that, with that size of the imagine, it's the cumulative acreage or square footage of that, with so many households doing all the different type of vegetables and whatnot. We got to think in that manner now. If we want to talk about urban farming, we got to go micro farming. We go down to micro farming, but the numbers of micro farm will add up to the farm as we know it now.
Yeah. So we come back to the saying, right? Sedikit-sedikit, right? Lama-lama jadi bukit lah, right?
I believe that, each of us can contribute, no matter how small. Even a few pots on the balcony. Every piece of chili that you produce on your balcony is every piece of chili that you stop buying.
Yeah, true.
You get that?
And you can get to share it with your friends and neighbors if you get too much, too many.
Exactly. There's always too much.
Yeah.
Because when you harvest, it's more than normally it's more than what you can consume yourself. So it's either you give away or you preserve it, you pickle it or whatever. That's another trait that people can get into. Pickling. I've got somebody who start doing pickling of our vegetables now. And it's nothing new. This has been in our community, for as long as everybody remembers pickling vegetables. So they preserve it for it can be consumed, when you don't have fresh vegetables. Last long. Yeah.
I think we're also, through this kind of farming, we are also getting back in touch with things like pickling,
Yes.
canning,
Yes.
and also part of it, that's what I want to talk about, is also your extension,
Yeah.
Roots Cafe by Kebun Kota.
Yeah.
So it was that also a natural extension of you having so much of produce and you wanted to do something, therefore you started the cafe?
Yeah, I think we subscribed to the idea that from farm to table, and we wanted to make it happen. But it took me 3 years to do it because I didn't want to just open a cafe. I would like the cafe to do more than that, to be plastic free, to serve organic food, to bring in other trades to come and work with me. So I had to go and look for people who are willing to subscribe to the same idea that you want to bring in things from whatever you're doing at home, art or food. It shouldn't be in plastic bags. So
Was
it
it
took me a
difficult? Was it difficult in Kuantan?
not difficult because out of the many people that I met, a few did start off with us, but eventually drop off because it's too difficult for them not being able to put in plastic bags. I keep telling them, look, I just want things in bulk. You don't have to worry about putting in a plastic bag. I'll show you how we're going to do this. Have faith in what we're trying to do. Some do stay, and they are around. Now we have 10 vendors with us, doing all sorts of things, stay at home mom. I work with ladies for now, because to me, this is an opportunity for them to have a side income. And most of them they stay at home and they can do all this, and I take away the trouble of them having to market or having to package the product. We start off with one lady who sell. She does reusable sanitary pads. She does scrunchies for hair. And when COVID came, she started doing reusable masks. And we keep have to bug her every day because we run out of masks every day. And now we have 3 vendors doing reusable cloth masks with pockets to put filters inside. So that in itself, they receive daily order up to 200 pieces.
Wow.
So it's a lot. And they're actually selling online as well. So I'm very, very happy for them. I'm very happy for them. And,
Besides these vendors, I mean, you say you work predominantly with women or work just with women?
so far I only have one. And he just joined us about 3 days ago because he does daging salai, smoked beef. They already established business, so I thought, I want to introduce because they are based in Kuantan, so I thought I want to introduce this, but not a typical masala mak. I want to play with it and introduce new recipe with it. So he just joined us. Afnan, I don't know whether Amnan, I don't know whether he's listening to us or not. The rest are all ladies. The rest are all ladies.
Okay.
I think I do believe that ladies will be the game changer. That's why I prioritize working with ladies because they stay at home. Most of them are with young children. They will be the influencers, so to say, not on Instagram but at home. So I would like to work with them and make them understand why we are doing what we're doing in reducing plastics and making sure that no wastage. Because at Roots we are targeting to go zero waste, and now we are measuring our waste to make sure that every day we don't do more than 3 kilos. And most of the waste, whether food waste and paper waste and whatnot, most of it go to recycling for us to produce our compost back to Kebun Kota.
Okay. I think that's the reason also why I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to find out more about what you're doing because I do follow your posts on Facebook and Instagram, but those are like beautiful photos. But
Yeah.
beyond that, I wanted to know what kinds of things they're doing. So for those people who are watching us right now, if they have something that is aligned to your values, can they actually contact you and maybe start a conversation?
Of course, I'm more than happy to talk. Our door is always open to everybody. Contact me via our WhatsApp number. That
Yeah. So it's
you
not
know,
so it's not just for Kuantan based or Pahang based people, is it?
Yeah, it's not. I think we should explore beyond the. I mean, local community, yes, but there are a lot of things that can be done online, under the same banner, promoting, sharing ideas. Maybe they'll be selling on their own. It doesn't have to be via route, but the same concept can be applied on making sure. I've been asked many times, why don't I open in KL? I say there's only one me. If you want to open, we can share ideas because there are many rules that we do at Roots. We don't have tissue papers. We only have cloth napkins, and all our furnitures are recycled. I go around my sister-in-law's house, my mother-in-law's house, our house, digging for old chairs
Okay.
and to be fixed and reused. And when people walk in, they say, "Oh, this place is very comfortable." No, there's no mention. Nobody noticed that they are actually sitting on old chairs. And it doesn't matter somehow. It doesn't matter. It's how you put together. I think being an architect, that skill help in a way, So it's how you put things together, and it doesn't matter it's old or new. So long it looks presentable, it looks neat, it looks clean. It's okay. People will feel comfortable. That's what we do at Roots. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now I want to pull up some comments. Some very interesting comments. Okay. There's one from Anna Hazwa. She said, "Root serves the best meals and drinks." So I'm sure Anna, I'm sure you've eaten there plenty of time to say that. I really hope that one day I get to go back to Kuantan because, like I said, right, the last time I met you was so many years ago. So thanks, Anna, for the comment. Then let's see. Malar says, urban or microfarming is equal think and do small. Yes, priority is for own consumption and knowing where our food comes from.
Yeah.
Another one is, okay, I think just Dream Was asked, do you conduct microfarming courses for people with brown fingers? Okay, not green fingers, brown fingers. I can't seem to grow anything, but have always wanted to have some potted edibles on my balcony. So yes, Kaniza,
Okay.
go ahead
My
and do brown fingers.
Do you have pets? Things that you take care of around the house. It's the same thing. Plants is about nurturing, and farming is a science. Yeah. What it needs is sunlight. Um, I mean, I don't encourage people using artificial lighting, because it's a cost. So you have plenty of sunlight. It's more than enough to make your plant grow. Nutrition and water. You don't even have to have earth. If you are living on the 30th floor of an apartment, you don't have to grow plants. Carry the earth bags all the way up in the elevator to your and man everywhere. You don't have to do that. You just need the three key items that you have to have: sunlight, water, and nutrition for the plant, and you're good to go. Is the simple science of that's the simplest form. that I think is easy enough to remember and to know. So people forget that the feeding part of the plant is like feeding your pets, whether you have cats or dogs or I don't know, guinea pig or whatever.
Yeah.
It needs that kind of nurturing as well and attention.
But I think the key thing about plants is that plants don't bug you like a hungry cat or a hungry dog.
Exactly. Exactly.
They kind of remind, like, I have a cat, right? My cat reminds me if I forget to feed her, she will never let me sit in peace, right, until I give her food. So I guess that's a little bit strange, lah. I mean, plants, but of course, maybe we can set, reminders to ourselves these days.
Yeah. They just die, sadly.
And when they die, it's too late, right, to
Yes, too
to
late.
bring them back.
It's too late. Yeah.
Okay, I think we have one comment here from Nisha. Hello, Puan Kaniza. What advice would you give to someone who is just wanting to start their own herb farm? I assume that the herb farm is the kind where you grow in your own plot of land
Um,
in front of your house.
yeah, how big is the farm? That is my question to Nisha because size matters. Size really matters. If you want to start off, as I've said earlier, starting off small is important. You got to get the hang of it. If you're not into farming before, you got to get the hang of taking care of plants or what it needs. You will fail. We have failed many, many times. Our plants die on us all the time. During MCO, even though I come to roots often, but still my plants of half dead because we were not there most of the time. So you got to get the hang of knowing your plant or what you want to grow. The knowledge of whatever herbs that you want to grow is also as important because not all plants are the same. Different plants require less water, some require more. Some don't need to be, you don't have to give fertilizer that often. They can survive on your some hardy, some are not. So you have to learn. That's what we've done, as I've mentioned earlier. We started Kebun Kota into A, and this year is our 13th year. Over the years, we have failed. We go back and say, oh, where did we go wrong? What we've done, and we learn and we read about the plant. So you have to have the knowledge. Everything else, is the background knowledge is important.
Yeah. Okay, then we have our Anna. After that, she says, "I speak to my plants now; they prosper." Maybe that is a good tip. Thank you, Anna. I think it's true. I mean, sometimes you do need to kind of talk to them and give them some
I do.
attention.
I do. My husband
Yeah.
does a lot.
Does he
Yeah.
talk to his fish?
Oh yeah. Oh God.
Huh?
He really does. You know that he can tell the difference between all the fish that he has in a pond, in his pond. And when I want to cook the fish, I cannot tell him which I catch, and I make sure that he can see which I catch because he can tell. And he has this difficulty of eating his fish because it's like eating his pets. It's
Oh, but it's true, right? I mean, it becomes kind of like part of your family kind of thing. So, yeah. But do you sell? I mean, do you sell those fish
Yeah,
or?
we do. Because
Okay.
our fish, we don't feed our fish as any food. Our fish mainly live on plant protein, azolla. We have duckweed and the vegetable whatever we grow at the farm. We actually feed them to our fish. So our fish are pretty healthy.
And also organic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, we have one from Lee Jin, uh, a mutual
I
friend of ours. Do you employ any farmers, or is the farm managed by the community?
Okay, at the moment we have two. We have those that's run by community, smaller farm. We have about 2.5 acres at the back of our office. That's where we started. I've mentioned earlier where my husband grew um, spinach and watermelon and whatnot. At Kebun Kota, yes, we do. For the 14 acres, we have two workers only because the the planting technique that we use at Kebun Kota is semi-automatic in a way that we blade all the pipes down. So they just need to maintain and make sure that the pumps are working, and they don't have to physically go and water the plant and whatnot. So their job is more on the maintenance of the farm rather than taking care of the plant.
Okay, so that basically is helped by technology.
Yes, we do. We are talking to a few. We have actually been working with many universities along the years, and over the many years that we set up Kuantan, and we are now on the final stage to go fully automated urban farm.
Fully automated. Wow, that's interesting.
So you'll be able to check on your handphone, because we are most important for the future farming. We have to get the young ones to be interested in farming. And I think we cannot expect them to go the old way and bring charcoal. Nobody's going to do it. Let's face it, that's the reality. Handphone is an extension of their body now. Okay, it's not just them, it's us as well. So we are looking at talking to quite a few companies that include. They are basically merging the farm monitoring to apps on the phone. So you can actually monitor the nutrition value, water and whatnot, just from your phone. That's what we're trying to do now. Yeah.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask you about is I saw on your Kebun Kota website that you do have this is it like a partner farm somewhere in Luang Prabang, Laos?
Yeah.
And that they plant moringa and sacha inchi.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure what that is. Is it supposed to be a herb or a kind of something that you eat? So how does this work with Kebun Kota? How does this farm in Luang Prabang, Laos work in terms of partnership?
The thing about Laos is that the government is very strict about being organic, about making sure that the land are not polluted with all the harmful chemicals for the agricultural land. So we work with them by funding them in getting the seeds and getting them to grow the Sacha-inchi. Sacha-inchi is a type of plant that is high in omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9. So it's actually a lot better than fish oil. And it's more sustainable because you can actually grow it. Fish oil is harvested from the sea. So, from the fish that you harvest from, you go out fishing and whatnot. So it's not sustainable. So we're looking at things like that where it's more sustainable and it's grown organically there. So what we've done is they will grow it there, and then it will be sent to Thailand for our OEM to manufacture and doing bottling it for us. That is that. We've also we are also growing Sacha-inchi in Malaysia at our farm. So we will have our own production. We have done so where we plant, we harvest the egg, harvest the nut, we press it and we bottle it. It's actually being sold at the farm at Roots right now.
Oh, okay. And people can just use it like an oil, or do they take it like a fish oil supplement?
It's a yeah. It's a cooperation. Okay, you consume it in the morning, where is a teaspoon in the morning and teaspoon before you sleep. Or we are currently looking at doing capsule, but it's suitable for vegan because it's plant-based capsule. So the whole thing will be plant-based.
So it means you work with the farm, meaning that you kind of share knowledge as well as share the seeds as well as ideas of how to make products out of the plants, right?
Yes, every part of it. We actually look at Thailand is pretty advanced in this sense. They've produced tea, the tablets, and the oil. So we that's why we're working with the Thai as well. Um, it's we Laos is about fair trade because we pay the farmer above the normal price that they get from others, uh, and we work with them and teaching them to go through the whole process instead of us taking over and being the middleman uh,
Mhm.
for their for their produce.
Okay. Okay, so I thought that was an interesting part of it. I was poking around your website, so wow, that's interesting. I didn't know what such an inchi was in the first place. So I decided better, yeah, I should ask you, more about it. Okay, there's some comments here. There's Alfred. I'm really interested in urban farming. Hopefully, can start a farm one day.
That's great. That's great. Please do as soon as possible.
But like what Kaniza has shared just now, much earlier, she says that you don't have to start with a big farm. You don't even have to start with a farm, right? You can just start with where you are, right in front of your balcony, the small patch of land that you have in your house, behind your house. Start with that. Okay. And then Anna says, I've tried their plant-based diet catfish. It's sweet tasting, flesh really blew me away. Oh, Anna has been a big fan of roots.
We at Root we told we have a few customers who we gave the title of a PR. You
Oh,
know, they've got a PR status at Roots, because they are regular.
okay. No, you should give them ambassador status. They
No,
go out there and
Anna, I think I should move her up to ambassador status.
yeah. Now sudah naik taraf dah. Okay, then another one from Lee Jin. She's asking, is the farm financially self-sustainable? She's asking.
I would say yes. If you sell direct, because
Mm,
our test at the small plot where we have based on the community, instead of selling it to supermarket, when we sell it to at root, let's say price per kilo is 4 ringgit. When they bulk sell to supermarket, the supermarket probably offer them ringgit 50. But at root, what we do is that if the selling price is 4 ringgit, I'm going to take 40 cents, 10% of that, 3 ringgit 60 cents will go to the farmer.
mm,
So because we are just the window to get access to the consumer. We don't have to do much. And for us at Root, as far as veg is concerned, it's not about making profit because our profit is from our F&B, from what we cook, we sell, the drinks and whatnot. So some of the items, even the ladies that selling their things, that is not where we make our profit. So we find a balance between items that we can make good money and items that we don't. So we still have to survive, we still have to be profitable, but not the profit as, be driven purely by profit in that sense.
mm.
So yes, I think it can be sustainable. Is how you approach the urban farming itself. If you do single crop, then you have no choice but to sell to supermarket because when every time you harvest, if you have an acre of say um, um, spinach, that could be a few tons of spinach when you harvest at one time. You cannot expect to do retail by selling to people who just okay, can I buy 500 gram a kilo of 2 tons of spinach? You have to push it to
Supermarket.
supermarket.
Mm,
But if you do 10 types of vegetable on your plot, so you're talking about small patch of spinach, you have chili, you have brinjals, you have lady's fingers, you have sweet, you have pumpkin. they all come in at different stage. You harvest it at different stage. That is what it allows you to sell direct to consumer. They can actually come to the farm. That's what we're doing. The next batch of planting, I think my husband identified 20 different types of plant that he's planting on the 2 acres that we are doing for the community farm, because we don't want to go to supermarket.
So you
Yeah,
kind of have your reason for not doing that. So you find a way to grow different vegetables rather than one whole plot of
right. Yeah,
spinach, right? You
yeah,
end up with tons of it. Don't know what to do.
yeah, yeah, exactly. We've been through that. That's why we know that. Oh no, we don't do that. It's
Okay.
easier because sometimes when you buy seeds in bulk. That's part of our job at Kebun Kota. When we harvest, we keep the seeds. We always keep the seeds. We don't want to buy the seeds after that. So we keep a portion. A portion is meant for us to keep a seed. So we have variety in at our farm on the types of vegetable that we can grow. That's why the whole thinking of urban farming cannot be on the old more traditional that when you have a farm, you go single crop. That means so and so tanam nanas, and there will be 10 acres of nanas. And then and everybody harvests at the same time, and we don't know what to do with the nanas. And when everybody plant watermelon, acres and acres of watermelon. I'm not saying that it's wrong, so long as you have the market and you know what to do with it, it's fine. But if you cannot secure a market, then it's not sustainable, because whatever investment that you have put in to plant that, and we are talking about perishable item, it will not last more than a week, and
Yeah.
then goes the money, and that's it. That's why farmers that go on the route of traditional farming cannot survive, because you're dealing with perishable items.
Okay. So the other thing I want to ask you about, you have Roots Cafe, but
Yeah,
it also functions as a place for the community to come together and do things together. I've seen that you have had soap making.
yeah,
I think you also have other things. There are a couple of things that you're doing there. So maybe you are
what,
the let us know. Yeah. What
it was.
interesting stuff that you are doing there right now, and how do you get all these people to come along?
I think we just will let the word out. Kuantan is pretty small, so I suppose it's easier to say. I've been sitting one day talking to Jihan, who's here with me on a daily basis. Say, hey, we should do this, we should do that, and so she will let the word out, and then after that, somebody will say, "Oh, this person can do this, that person can do this," and we'll start the conversation going, and that's how we secure all these people to come and teach. And we have Pilates twice a week as well. And then I don't manage the Instagram. My children manage the Instagram. They know it better. So that's how they get the word out. Um, I suppose all these media social thing works. My only thing is just the Facebook. The rest I cannot handle. I don't have anything else. Yeah.
So I also wanted to let all of us here who are listening to Kaniza talking is that Kaniza told me before we got live that this is her first live experience. I'm really thankful that she agreed to come on live with me, because personally I'm very interested in being an eco warrior. Call myself an eco warrior. I make my own compost. I do my composting, and I feel that more and more the conversations are going the way of sustainability,
Right.
and where is sustainability in terms of like growing our food or even doing things that make us live responsibly
Yes.
as citizens of the earth. So that's why I'm glad we had this conversation. So what are some of the future plans coming up for Kebun Kota and Roots, if you can share them?
We would like to go more into farming, introducing more technology into farming, because that's the way forward. We have to be more efficient in the production. And post-harvest activities. I think I find it really sad when so much effort and money we put into uh, 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 growing food, and some mishap happens, and then we have to dump good food by the roadside. What happens in Cameron Highland and whatnot?
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. Um, Post-harvest activity is one of the key things that we as a country should focus more. We are lagging behind on that. You see things that you get product from Thailand, all sorts of things they can come up with from just papaya or pineapple and so many different types. Because they do spend a lot of time on doing R&D. And they have been doing it for many, many years. So we should do that. We should focus more on post harvest. That's what is our future immediate plan is to go more on post harvest. And in that case, we are we have the capacity to go and set up a post harvest center. Not all farmers can do that. So for us in Kuantan, we would like to set up the processing and then the processing technique and whatnot. So other farmers can come to us. Look, I have excess bayam. What can I do with it? Okay, then let's pickle it or let's dry it. So it's worth some money still, Or if they have pineapple, okay, let's turn it into jam or dry it or whatever form that you can do with pineapple, so nothing goes to waste. So that is our future plan. We want to go into food harvest.
I think we need that because I think also all our neighboring countries are doing very well in terms of the post-harvest.
Yeah,
Usually, like you say, Thailand, Vietnam, they
yeah,
use up a lot of the agriculture produce to make interesting snacks.
exactly. Very
Yeah.
much so. Yeah,
And we who are, we who can grow anything, literally,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
We don't do anything with our fruits and vegetables. We just chuck them.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
So, okay, let's look at the comments again. We have, let's see, any more questions? Because we'll be ending soon. So, any one of you who have questions you want to ask Kaniza about her farm, about how certain things work. And because Kaniza, actually, one of the good things is you're very open to sharing.
Yeah.
And I think that is where it's important to share the knowledge that you have learned over the 13 years of running your farm
Yeah.
and doing all those things that you are doing. Okay, any more questions? Let's see. Eugene says, thank you for explanations. Good session. Yes, I have a good
Thank
guess.
you.
And Anna says, affordable price and yummy tasting kombucha. Oh, okay, kombucha.
Yeah,
So you also make,
we have a full range of kombucha. I
okay, and
think
also
10 flavors now or something like that. Yeah.
and made with the fruits from your farm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
All the flavoring comes from all the fruits and whatnot that we from our farm locally. Yeah.
Okay. So, what is that final key thing that you want all of the people who are watching and listening to us take away from today's session?
Start planting. Grow your food. Find out where your food is from. That's very important. Traceability of food is very important. If you want food security, it has to start with you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And you can grow anything anywhere
Yeah.
if you just put some effort into it. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to also pull up is for those of you who are interested in the work that Kaniza and her team are doing with Kebun Kota as well as Roots Cafe in Kuantan. You can find them on FB or IG or visit kebunkota.com.my. If you're in Kuantan, drop by or pop by. Where is that? Jalan? What's it called?
Jalan Aiputih is off Jalan Semambu. Nice location in front of Andorra Peak.
Okay.
Yeah, drop by. Come and chat with me. I'm here every day when we open.
Okay. The other I wanted to ask you, you're there every day. Then are you still doing what you're doing for architectural services and all that, or that one you have left to your team?
No, because Roots is next door to our office.
Mm.
So I have a door that, walk that cross to the other side. So when I'm needed in the office, I'll
Yeah.
just walk in and then do my work. And when I sit in the cafe as well, I will probably be doing my work. But quite a few people who come and do their work here.
So it's
So
becoming the hangout.
yeah, yeah, a lot
Uh,
of I think quite a few PhD students who, because we are near UIA, Kuantan campus, so quite a few of them actually come and do their work.
okay.
Yeah.
We actually have one more question, so I hope you don't mind. We have one
Okay.
more. Alfred asks, what is the most difficult thing to start on the farm? Uh, okay. Oh,
Oh,
that's like $1 million question.
another thing to oh, to me, to make the first move to start. Just you have to know what you want to do. You have to be equipped with the knowledge before you start anything. And I've said this before. The actual farming process is not difficult. It's not something that is difficult to do, but you have to be consistent. So you've got to really put your heart into it. Buying a pot, you can get about $1. You don't even have to buy a pot. If you have a meat carton or anything, you just put water and seed, and you get a plant. As simple as that. So I won't say that it's going to be costly and whatnot if you just want to do a few things. But consistency is important. Commitment is important. That is difficult. I think to
Mm.
be committed to it all the time to make sure that it grows, and to have the patience to wait and see it grows and it flourish. Most of the time, we are living in a very very fast world. Everything is instant. Plant doesn't follow our pace. It has its own pace. So we have to wait for it to grow and be patient. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I think that plants also have their own ways of growing. Some
yeah,
some they do grow. Like
yeah.
sometimes I have like recently I think I planted ulang raja seeds. Didn't come out at all. And then
Oh,
those yeah, and then the worst part is like in my compost pot I throw everything. And those are the things that grow, which
it's
I
great.
have no idea what they are.
Exactly. That's right. And then sometimes talking about waiting, if you want things to grow organically, that means the plant will grow at its own pace. Sometimes if that is when people start introducing chemical this and that, to make it grow faster. Well, we don't believe in that. We don't believe in forcing the plant to be what it's not supposed to be, in giving it what it's not supposed to have. So if you want something organic, you have to let it grow on its own term.
Yeah, on its own way of growing. So final comment, Mala says informative and fun. Looking forward to driving up for a jalan-jalan cari makan session.
Yes, yeah,
Yes, and you finally get to meet Kaniza.
yes.
So
Definitely.
yeah, we now everyone wants to go up to Kuantan. It's like the destination to go to. Anyway, now it's GT Malaysia, right? COVID
Yes,
or no COVID.
Kuantan
So
is a beautiful place.
yeah, what do you like best about living in Kuantan? Before we end the session.
I think the fresh air and the slower pace. Everything everywhere is about 5-10 minutes away, and that gives me a lot of time to do things that I want to do because I never really get stuck on traffic jam or anything like that. So yeah, my days are longer, and so I actually do a lot of things.
Okay,
That,
is it a
that's
good place to retire?
I would, well, I think it's a good place to do things, a lot of things if you want to do a lot of things, I don't know whether that is retirement or not. Um, you get to do more things, I suppose, because your time is not constrained by the traffic, by the traveling that you have to do. So that's the beautiful part of Panta. That's the reason why we stay put here and to raise our 5 children, because our time is diamond. But it's always been very, very important.
And also you're near to the beach.
Oh yeah, of course. The fresh air, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Kaniza, it has been a pleasure talking to you. For those who don't know, I've known Kaniza for a long time. more than a decade, right?
Yes,
I've known you for a long time, way back when I was working.
Asian woman. Asian
Yes,
women. Yes,
yes.
that's yeah.
So that was how I got to know Kaniza. But back then, you were not even involved in your farming yet, right? You're still an architect. You're still doing all your professional services and all that. So that's how we got to know each other, and that's why I decided that since now she's got this very interesting initiative happening, and I thought it would be great to bring her on and ask her to share what she has with the rest of the world who's interested in farming
Yes.
and becoming a more responsible citizen of Mother Earth. So thank you once more for spending time with us. For those of you who have just joined us, if you're watching this in the replay, uh, you're still welcome to contact Kaniza, whether it is on IG or Facebook. And if you're up in Kuantan, go and visit her and partake in the delicious stuff that I heard is, is sold in Roots Cafe. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. And please do share this episode with friends, especially those who are interested in urban farming and using that as a catalyst for social change. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Krista.
Thank you.
Thank you.